Excellent.
Okay. But we don't yet have a quorum.
Um,
2, 3, 4, 4 of us. I think that would be a quorum.
yeah,
Majority of 7. So there's me here, 3 of you online.
I think we have a quorum.
Okay.
Are there any applicants? I can't see anybody in.
There were 3 outside in the lobby and on the front steps. I'm just going to let them know that we're started.
Great.
I can hear you guys, but I can't see anything, but that's okay. Can you hear me? It's Patty.
I can hear you, Patty,
Okay, great.
and you obviously hear me.
Yes, I can. Let me go back to my email and see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we have just enough for a quorum. Our secretary canceled last minute. And it looks like our chair and vice chair may also be absent, but we have a quorum. Give me 1 moment, please. All right, the time is now 7:38. Time is now 7:38. Call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Boonton Historic Preservation Commission. Our meetings are public and we welcome the public's participation in matters of interest to the commission. Our meeting schedule is posted on the official website of the town of Boonton. The Boonton Main Street Historic District, the Ironworks Residential District, the Rockaway Historic District, and the Ironworks Industrial Historic District are recognized for their historical significance, and enabling ordinances of the town of Boonton render the historical elements within these districts as public trust resources that the Historic Preservation Commission is charged with protecting, restoring, and enhancing. Commission review and approval are required for any municipal permits involving signage and the construction or renovation of building facades. The commission adheres to established guidelines and to the Secretary of the Interior standards for the rehabilitation of historic properties in its review procedures. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In absence of our secretary, I will take roll. One moment.
Zeke, I have an agenda right in front of me. You want me to just go through the roll?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Robert Salvo, Chair. Absent. Anthony Scandariano, Vice Chair. Absent. Ian Brastow, Secretary. Absent. Zeke Balin.
Present.
Patricia Butas.
Present.
Adrian Yoga. Absent. Elliot Ruga. Present. Victor Morvillo.
Present.
And Betty McGrath. Absent.
All right, thank you. Do we have minutes to approve, Elliot?
We do.
I'd like to. I was going to motion to table.
I second that.
All right, we'll carry those to next month. And first order of business is 811 Main Street. We have an applicant for 811 Main Street. If you would please forgive, thank you for your patience with our short staff. Yep, that's fine. Just press the green, press it and the green light should come on. If you would please state your name and the property you are representing.
My name is Paul Tuttenloff, 811 Suite J, Main Street in Boonton. I represent Paul Tuttenloff Architect. I'm here also with Jonathan Ferrero, who is a co-renter in the space at 811 Main Street. And we're requesting 2 signs up. One representing my firm, one representing his firm. And I've been in Boonton since 1997. First at 402 Main Street for 7 years. Then I've moved to 360 Hawkins Place for 20 years. I've been there. Dr. Hammerman finally retired. So I had to vacate offices there and find a new space. We found one at 811 Main. We believe our signs meet all the requirements of the district. We have a rather large facade. It's a 2nd floor windows. We have like 55 feet of windows, 6 foot high across the front. And our particular signs, there are 2 signs shown in the application there. The first sign, which is my sign, is 41 inches high by 34 inches wide. And Unicus Architects, the 2nd sign, which is 40 inches wide by 40 inches high. In the pictures, you see where they are proposed. They don't even occupy the full window, rather small. But all in all, sufficient for what we need.
Great, thank you. Elliot, Patty, Victor, were you able to hear?
I
The
could
applicant?
hear.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yes, I could hear.
Okay, great. So just take these one at a time, starting with, I'm sorry, how do you pronounce your last name?
Tajlov.
Tajalov. Thank you. Mr. Tajalov's application. Any comments or questions?
well, it's Elliot, and I'm concerned that a window sign or a window decal or whatever should be no larger than 33% of the window area that it occupies. That's straight out of the town ordinance. Now, granted, these are 2nd floor windows, and you would expect them to be a little larger to be seen, but that's the language of the ordinance.
The individual window is 6 foot by 6 foot, which is
36
72 by 72, which is 5,184. You divide that by, or times 0.33 is 1710. And my particular sign is where is it?
I think you're within the,
We are under the 33%.
I think that's right. I think the,
Okay,
yeah, without I had the same thought, Elliot, but the sketch included in the photo, I think, is not to scale,
okay.
safe to say.
Yeah,
the-
close, but not perfect.
If it's a 41-inch tall sign, oh, that probably is, you're right. Those are 6 feet tall windows.
Yeah.
That's close.
I mean, a 41 by 41 would be 31% of the building. and we're-
Right,
We're about
Four.
33%, right?
Yeah,
right.
so I'm 33%, so I'm less than 33%.
Right, and the other sign is 1,600, so it's
It's also
below
less.
33%.
Yeah.
Well, I have no issue with the design, so if it meets the um, size criteria, I have no issue.
Thank you, Elliot. Any other questions? Patty or Victor?
No, I have no issues either.
No, I have no issues with it.
I have one question. Will these be lit from inside?
No,
Okay. And it is it hung behind the glass? Will also be hung behind the glass? Okay. I see no, I have no further questions or no, if there were any issues with the town ordinance, that would be up to our zoning and construction department to address, but in terms of this commission, I believe we're ready for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the signs as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for
another 30 years of work. Okay.
before we if you I mean, I just want to introduce myself. I'm an architect also.
Oh,
Senior signage job. I do over at Hawkins Place for some time. Zeke Phelan. Just happy to. I'm also a second floor on Main Street.
okay.
Happy to make your acquaintance.
Well, we've been
John
there for a while.
Welcome to Main Street.
Back to Main Street. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, you too. All right, our next applicant is 906 Main Street. Okay, I don't, so no, we don't have anyone here for a show on my agenda from Patrick Laverty. We have a 906 before 506. Is that consistent with the agenda, Elliot?
No, I don't see that on my agenda. I just
Okay.
see 811 and 506.
Yeah, that also was not included in the material. So we'll scratch that. That's just in my checklist from Pat. And we can ask him what that was about. That, I wonder if that's Boonton Coffee, but they're not here again.
Yeah,
So we'll table that and I'll call the next applicant for 506 Main Street. If you please turn on your mic and state your name and tell us a little bit about your application.
Okay, hello, my name is Felix Lopez. My business is gonna be,
Maybe you're, yeah, don't hold the paper over the mic. Thank you.
here we go. My name is Felix Lopez, and my business is gonna be Empanadas and J Cafe, located in 106 Main Street here in Boonton. I present some renderings. Okay?
Yes,
If you got it.
yes.
Basically, it's gonna be two decals on the windows. A small one, 30 inches each one, representing less than the 30% of the window. And there are a blade on the top, on the middle of the business, that it's 3 feet by 5 feet. It's in the second rendering. Okay. And there are two little awnings over there. You can see the first rendering. So basically this is what I want to put over there.
Okay, thank
The
you. I'll-
decals on the window is not gonna be illuminated, gonna be fixed from inside.
And those, I don't think, I see it in the rendering, and I see the close-up of the blade sign.
Blade.
Was there a close-up? In my pack, I don't see a close-up of the decal.
No, it's only this one.
Oh, okay,
The logo is the same logo that goes on the blade, but just in white, not in color.
I see.
Okay. And I put another one in the middle over the door in black because the door is white.
I see.
Okay.
Can I make a,
No neons, no, just the regular light that it's on the blade.
Go ahead, Patty.
thank you. I'd like to comment. First of all, there was no color schemes told, so I'm assuming the window decals are white and the
Yes.
decal above the board is black.
Yes, no color on there.
Okay, the big question that I have, and I did send an email to the group, but nobody responded to me, was the awnings, but help me with that. The name of the awnings above the windows they seem to be straight awnings, down, and no apron on the awning. Is that correct? And Daniel, can you
Yeah.
explain that?
Yeah, there are no aprons, that is straight.
Okay, so that doesn't comply with what our, district wants people to do. We want awnings.
The awning
Go ahead.
is already installed.
Yeah,
I didn't install nothing, was
Yeah.
already there.
so the applicant's just pointing out that the awnings are existing.
Yeah.
They're installed already, so
Yeah.
previous, okay.
The
So,
Like blade
yeah.
was already there, and
Yeah.
installed nothing.
So according to our ordinance, we actually can't approve any text or graphic
On the awning?
on the awning, only when there's a apron that's hanging
Okay,
at the bottom.
no problem, I have no problem to check it out. But I don't installing that, no problem.
Okay, that's good.
Do these awnings have no apron?
No,
No,
Well, I mean, still the ordinance applies.
Elliot,
right.
I have no recollection of approving an awning without an apron. We'd have to go back to, minutes from when Infinity or whatever, whoever installed those awnings received our approval. Because I don't not want to have someone have the opportunity to have some information on an awning, but we just can't grant someone to do it in a way that we've told other applicants they can't do.
Yeah, I agree with you, Patty. And I don't think there is any, if those are existing awnings without an apron, I don't think there's any text on the angled, I don't know what you would call that above the awning.
Currently, sir, is there any graphic or text on those awnings?
Mhm.
There is currently
no,
not.
there are no graphics.
Okay, okay. So
It's
yeah,
blue, plain blue.
okay.
There's
So,
nothing over there.
and the applicant's
That's what
willing.
was I proposed to put it there.
Yeah, he's willing, he's understands that those, we can't approve the text on the awning. So I think the only thing I would offer is if you or your landlord were to, if they're able to attach an apron,
Okay,
you could, that would be a separate application, but you could bring that back,
okay,
the size of the apron and whether that means new awnings or an adjustment to the existing awning
okay,
with your text on it, and we could approve that
okay.
at a future date.
I'm gonna think about it. It's not a big deal for me.
Okay, okay.
Because most important is the logo and the blade. That's it.
Okay,
So-
thanks for addressing that.
So
No,
we
thank
could-
you, Patty.
We could, I could make an motion, unless anyone has any questions about the blade sign or the window decals or the above the door sign.
I have one actually related to the lighting. So this, the photo shows that there's existing lighting for the blade sign, indirect lighting. And as I was reviewing before the meeting, our ordinance related to the awnings, I also looked at what's approved for lighting. I think this is not related to your application, but I just want to check with Patrick. I know there are a number of these situations in town where we have kind of I would just call it a floodlight, but the indirect light that is, to me, I would call this an unshielded light. And I just noticed in the language of our ordinance, it may be that these lights were actually prohibited. And I just want to check that with Pat. And
What I saw in the building that this light looks like was years ago. Put it there.
yeah, there's a number of them on Main Street like this. And you're allowed, I mean, if the lighting were approved, I would say the building was, the sign was approved for indirect lighting. I just want to make sure if, as an applicant comes forward for renewal of a signage, essentially, renewed use of the existing blade sign, I think it's the committee's responsibility, this commission's responsibility to ensure that, the aspects, if for example, the blade sign were starting to fall off, we would make sure that code enforcement understands that it has to be secured. Likewise, if the lighting is no longer consistent with our ordinance, I just want to make sure, I'm speaking mainly to the commission here, that that code enforcement is, that we're on the same understanding with our code enforcement regarding what's approved for lighting. I would love to, have, as we get these applications, to improve and clean up our indirect lighting fixtures. So the language of the ordinance that I read was, that unshielded, incandescent, fluorescent lighting is not allowed. It may need some more clarification from Pat, but I just bring that up here, and I'd like to confirm that with him, and then just be consistent as we move forward.
I would like to have that conversation with the commission after this application is approved.
Thank you. That's right. It's not, well, I guess I would ask that we motion to approve this application as presented. Well, actually, motion to approve the application with, without the signage on the awnings, and with a confirmation that the existing lighting is consistent, meets our ordinance.
I'll second that motion.
Agreed.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. So, thank you, sir. So
Thank you very much.
we'll let Mr. Laverty know.
Okay, let me know if I need to change the lighting fixture, or what is the recommend.
Thank you. We're going to discuss it here afterwards. You're welcome to stay, but it will be, we'll let Mr. Laverty and the town know what was approved.
Okay.
And if there's any adjustment needed for the lighting, he'll contact you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
with your business.
Yeah, I'm excited about your business. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm a neighbor.
And I saw this space for rent. I contacted the owner. The owner was, I'm from Argentina. It's Argentinian empanadas, are baked, not fried. And we met with the guy, very nice with me, and said, okay, I know Buenos Aires. I was in Argentina. I went to here. So he helped me a lot. He gave me 2 free months of rent, to start the business.
Great.
So I follow all the steps from the city. Every city is different. So I hope that I can open as soon as possible.
I was just going to ask, do you know when you're going to open?
Now, he comes on Friday to inspect everything.
Okay.
For the permits of, I need to make some sub panel or to try. Nothing else more because they are nothing structural.
We also have a Boonton Main Street Association that helps, work with businesses and promote. There's every first Friday of the month, we'll do an event. We'd like to have the businesses open during that time as much as possible, as we try to draw traffic. And we'll do, if you let Patrick know, they do ribbon cuttings for new businesses. So it's another, some free advertisement. Great.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
All right, thank you all. It looks like, so actually I do see here, Patrick has, prints for 906. If you don't have these in an email, then I think we should, table this for next month.
Yeah, I don't have them. Did
Okay.
anyone have a discussion with Boonton Coffee about, I think Patty's suggestion that they keep those, the upper portions, I don't know what you call them, the divided lights, and then have
Mullions.
mullions,
Yeah, the kind of
And-
transom mullions.
below have the louvers?
I have not. I'd be curious if, I mean, I doubt anyone else had. I'd be curious if Anthony or Rob did. But we didn't approve that application, correct? We're still waiting for them to come in person?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any activity on their facade yet, no construction. Though,
No, I hope our chairman conveyed to Patrick what our concerns were, that we need to really speak with them. They need to be here.
Well, I just hate to see people order, signs or lighting, or this is a major, major expense to that building if they're going to put these folding doors, glass doors on the whole front of the facade, and they're not even hearing our concerns about it. It's very frustrating that, there's no communication.
yeah, I mean, we should brace ourselves to hear what we sometimes hear, which is, well, I already ordered them. I've already bought them. You have to approve them.
No, we don't have to.
I think we've been, very accommodating, but more than I think we need to be. And if that were the case with this applicant, I'd like to, say, well, you might need a change order or to find a way to attach some mullions.
Well, someone should have communicated with them after the last meeting, why we didn't approve, why we tabled.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, we didn't deny, we only tabled it. But as far as the application is concerned, I don't think that, and I'll ask Anthony if anything was communicated. I didn't email anything to Pat, but that non-communication is not approval. I don't think there's a legal standard that
Correct,
would give them a green light.
correct.
Um,
But it's not being respectful
I
to
agree.
the applicant by being silent when we have something
I
that
agree.
needs
I
to be
agree.
shared with them.
Elliot, would you mind either responding, sending an email on the Google group, just inquiring if any communication was made?
I don't mind.
Thank you. Well, just on Boonton Coffee, I've noticed this a while ago, but I just was looking at the facade again recently, carefully with this application. Does anyone recall, did we approve the colored LED sort of
Yes, we did.
insignia? We did. Okay.
Yeah, we did. I remember that.
And how was that though? How was that not a lit sign? I guess, are we claiming it was indirect lighting? It's not really,
I guess because it wasn't enclosed. It wasn't what you would normally consider it's sort of a stencil. It's not like if you look at the blade sign that we just approved, if that was lit from the inside, that would be blatantly,
yeah,
this was a little different.
yeah. Okay. I could see that. In reading the ordinance again, I have to check and see if it's clarified in the design guidelines. But, I'm remiss in not I keep talking about wanting to add some clarity and diagrams in the design guidelines and really make them, codify them as a requirement rather than just a resource.
Right,
What would you call it? An appendix to the ordinance or something like that.
right.
And so I would like to just put that in mind for a future agenda, and it would probably require some either deliberation during a meeting or via email, because you all who've been on the commission and in town longer will have a better sense, I think, of what's generally been acceptable with regard to the indirect lighting.
Right, and it would, if we made the design guidelines have the weight of an ordinance, it would be by reference to, we could do it by reference without adopting the actual design guidelines as ordinance. Just say, by reference, these are in effect of the force of law.
Yeah. Well, I would support that. The other application that you may have noticed on Main Street, there was a Stokesville a couple months ago, was a young man who he took the old Quality Consignments location.
Right,
And he put in some vinyl window signage that was not included in his application. And so that's the print I have from Pat for 906, is it looks like he's asking for approval for what he's already installed for his vinyl glass graphics. So we'll table that till next meeting. I'll ask Patrick but just to give you a heads up, if you're on Main Street, it's that former 906 is the former Quality Consignments. We
Right.
approved his exterior signage maybe a couple months ago.
yeah, it was he does hand painted clothes and stuff.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad to see that Patrick is aware and heads up of something that was not approved by us. And I also am glad, I hope that he is, walking or at least driving up and down Main Street and seeing violations, particularly the fluttering banner, like flag signs that people, are putting up. And I don't blame them. I mean, they want business and they need to advertise that they're a hair cutter or that they're open. But I'm hoping that Patrick is, addressing those situations. And Daniel, I know you're not our chair anymore, but what's your answer to that, being on the board?
I don't know that he is or is not. It was probably a year or two ago that I asked for a report from the administrator on code enforcement, on how frequently they make kind of random spot checks on Main Street and throughout the town. And the answer I got then was there is no scheduled period of time for inspectors or our officials to make those kind of spot checks, but it occurs, what would you say, as part of their regular duties. So, and then my own observation since then is that, especially every time I review the ordinance, there's a lot of violations. One thing we can do is, I think he used to send to this commission a list of Main Street violations every month. And we could ask him to do that again. Because just because you see something that is in violation doesn't mean that they weren't cited. So, but it's good to track. It's good for this commission, I think, as a public service, to help keep accountable our construction department and enforcement, because I do know from looking at those reports that it can happen that a citation is issued and months go by before any follow-up is made. So, or, you know, penalties are not, citation is issued, but with no penalty, no fine. So, and yeah, there are a number on Main Street, that are in violation currently.
Well,
Yeah.
in the 14 years I've been doing this, I've never known where that has not been an issue.
Yeah,
Not that I'm accepting it as, not that it's acceptable.
Well, the other thing is, this 506 application tonight, what a lovely gentleman and so gracious and complying to our suggestions. But how did the awning get installed? And I'm sure that it's Infinity Company or whatever that came before us for their sign, installed these awnings and they don't comply. And also possibly the lighting on the sign that we don't feel complies. Your thoughts?
Well, I never knew that unshielded lighting was, I mean, it's probably a safety issue, but it was not something that came up as I didn't see it in the ordinance as a concern.
yeah, and I don't know, I have to look at the date of that ordinance. It's possible that whenever that was updated, there was just a massive, ordinance update, done by the town planner, end of last year, or earlier this year. It was a lot of kind of housekeeping items, and, you know, they may have added language about unshielded, at that time. If not, you know, I'd like check the date on when that language was, included. It could have been after many of these were installed. But that's, you know, I don't think they look particularly, certainly not historic and not very nice. Many of those kind of, floodlight, with no real housing or enclosure for the fixture.
Right.
And if given the opportunity, I would like every time, you know, an applicant, with existing lighting like that comes for our approval, that the town require that they remove or update the lighting. Put it in, you know, an appropriate fixture.
Okay.
But,
I agree.
Patty, I was gonna say something else about your question. It was just on the awnings too.
Yeah.
You know, we should have, it's another, I don't know offhand if awnings require a permit, but in theory, every property on Main Street, our town should be able to check the address and pull up a history of permits that were applied for that property. And any completed work that requires a permit that was not permitted would put them in violation. So it shouldn't require much, effort to ask, for example, for 506 Main, you know, to check the record of permitting for the exterior lighting and, awnings. So, I mean, that's a note. I guess as liaison, I can both, check on the code enforcement issue and, with this property, especially the, like his permit history.
Thank you. I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Is the issue that we never approved an awning for 506?
Well, maybe, Elliot, maybe because when we approved the sign, there was no awning addressed. And I would think that after the fact, the awning went up. And, you know, that's just my opinion, but I know we would not have approved that awning.
What if there's no text on the awning and there's no apron, would we have denied it?
I think we would have, yes. Because if you look at the language in the ordinance for awnings, it
Mhm.
specifically would require an apron awning and not a bubble awning like back in the old
Right.
days,
Right.
but it's specifically an awning that conforms with the period of Main Street.
And that would require an apron.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, sorry, I've been here long enough to remember that.
Well, thank you. Any other items related to the applicants this evening for me or for Anthony to address? Hearing
No.
none, I'm gonna ask us to move on to old business. Morris County placard.
I'm assuming that Ian meant the Rockaway Historic District County sign.
I think so.
It's not quite a placard, but I did reach out to the county yesterday, and the response was actually, let me see what she said. Give me 1 second. Amanda Brochart, who's the Director of Archives and Heritage Affairs at the Heritage Commission, said the marker application and research is currently being reviewed by the marker committee and being moved along to draft text. I will update you with the next steps as we move forward. So I guess they're working on it. We will be getting a marker. They're just doing their intense historical haiku on what it's going to say.
Well, I would love to, that's great news. If as soon as that, we get an update that we have an approval, let's say, and a date on the installation, obviously we should try to all come out and do something like a ribbon cutting for the placard. And then apply for another one immediately.
Yeah.
For, I would say for the Ironworks District, or, I don't think we have one we have a few designated resources we could apply for placards for.
Yeah.
Main Street doesn't have one, though I guess it's not currently a state, though I think it is on the county list. Anyway,
On the county list, it's on state mapping, but not as an eligible.
yeah, no, and there's an application underway for the state and national for the
Right.
district. Okay. Any questions for me? I'll just briefly, a last council meeting and current news that I could share. Town budget was approved. You'll expect to see significant increases from the school. The school raised their rate, which I think by 4%, which given that that's 60% of your property tax, you may expect to see larger increase there. The town kept the tax rate to within the under 2% for the municipal portion. We're repairing a sinkhole on Plain Street. As I say that to this body, I think we should try to get, I will at least ask the town engineer, whoever's going to be on site, the appropriate party, because it's near the housing authority, and the sinkhole could be an ironworks ruin collapse. So I'm not exactly sure where that sinkhole is, but probably be good to get. It's within the historic district, so
Right.
it would be good to get some eyes on that, ensure that we're not see what they find.
what does it look like on the surface? You know,
I don't know.
I don't see anything amiss on Plain Street.
I don't think it's on the street. I think it's, but it's affecting the housing authority. The town is doing the work, for repair. And, yeah, that's all the information I have.
Okay,
Well, Elliot, that's your backyard.
I know it's my backyard, but I mean, do we know how large it is? Are they going to be able to?
The cost for remediation is not significant, so I can't think
Oh.
that it's that large. Well, I mean, I think it's in the $30,000 range, but I can't imagine it's something like the I-80
Right.
sinkhole. All number of improvements or budget items were also approved. Capital expenses for repairs for our water delivery and sewage systems. That's I would say those are the yeah, that's what comes. I'm sorry, I'm not better prepared with the report, but I think that's at our previous meeting. Those were the items that I think specifically have some relation to this commission. Oh, I think, did we discuss previously? I did. The expense was approved for the town appraisal. So we're executing a mandatory reassessment of all properties in the town, public and private, mandated by the county. It'll be a 5-year process with a value associated for each of the first 4 years, and the 5th year, an average is taken. The town asked that the appraising body, the consultant, come make a public presentation at town hall to make residents aware of what to expect, people on their property, et cetera. And it just strikes me that we had a budget approved for an updated historic property survey, and it hasn't been conducted yet. So that's another follow-up for me. I would like to get a updated historic survey completed and adopted by the town.
I believe I sent you, Zeke, the informal survey we did with the former planner, of all of the potential historic properties in town.
You did. And then we talked about, like, we could just immediately adopt that one. And we could still do that. I just, knowing the value of an approved budget item, I would like to take the opportunity to, essentially take that informal survey and have it, vetted and potentially added to by as part of a new survey.
Okay.
So any other questions for me?
Any movement on Riverwalk?
Nothing new. The last I heard, I may have mentioned it here previously, the town is requesting an update from them regarding their environmental remediation. They have some county and or state timelines that they're supposed to adhere to, and the town is requesting an update. I think if they don't, if I recall correctly, if they don't hear back from the developer, the town is going to investigate with those, the soil commission or DEP directly.
Okay. Thanks.
Welcome. Any other items anyone else wants to add?
No, thank you.
Nope.
All right, then would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn, but once we stop recording, I have a couple informal things I'd like to put on the table.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I-
Aye.
Time is 8:26. Meeting is adjourned. And let me stop recording.